Sibling bonds. The miracles of Demon Slayer don't stop at fighting demons. One of the Demon Slayer's many miracles is the protagonist's Tanjiro Kamado's and his sister's Nezuko's sibling bond. There are so many other noteworthy siblings in the series, so today we'll be focusing on the core of the Demon Slayer core, the Pillar siblings. Because the story is set during the Taisho period, most households have multiple children, so we'll be looking at Rengoku, Kocho, Tokito, and Shinazugawa siblings. In a life fighting demons, what kinds of siblings relationships did these siblings have? We're going to discuss each sibling's relationship. We're also going to compare sibling relationships with each other, so stay tuned until the end. The Rengoku Brothers. Older brother Kyojuro and younger brother Senjuro were born into the infamous Rengoku family, where flame breathing was passed down through generations of demon slayers. Their thick black eyebrows and hair with a yellow base and red tips make the brothers look like clones of their father. However, Senjuro's eyebrows are more slanted, giving him a more timid image than his father and brother. When the brothers were younger, their father fought as the Flame Pillar. Unfortunately, he quit the Corps when their mother passed away and became a heavy drinker. Even after witnessing his father's downfall, his mother's words, "It is the obligation of those born strong to defend the weak," kept him going, and he became the next Flame Pillar. On the other hand, Senjuro wasn't born with the natural ability to become a swordsman, and no matter how hard he trained, his Nichiren sword never changed colors. Kyojuro never blamed Senjuro and continued training with him. When Kyojuro fell asleep under lower rank 6 Enmu, Senjuro came up in his dreams. Even though he was verbally beaten down by his father, Kyojuro still, in his dreams, told Senjuro that he has his older brother supporting him. Enmu's powers were supposed to make his victims have sweet dreams, but Kyojuro got something quite different, a dream that was almost sad. However, it seemed it wasn't a sad dream to Kyojuro. In the second official fanbook, the Rengoku Stories Episode 0, his father was only cold to his sons because he didn't want his sons to die, and Kyojuro knew that. A world where his father cared about him, though his words were harsh and his brother respected him. Though nothing major happened, and that was the kind of family that made Kyojuro happy. Kyojuro died while fighting upper rank 3 Akaza after the defeat of Enmu. When Senjuro heard Kyojuro's last words, "Please tell him to follow his heart and take the path he feels is right." From Tanjiro, he made his decision in tears. He gave the path to become a swordsman. Because he was born into the Rengoku family, Senjuro must have felt that he had to become a Flame Pillar and support the Demon Slayer Corps. However, his brother's last words lifted that weight off of him. Even in his dreams created by Enmu, Kyojuro told Senjuro that no matter what path he chose, he would become a brilliant person. Kyojuro's last words must have been what he wanted to say for the longest time, but couldn't let out in person. Just as he said, Senjuro chose the path not of a swordsman, but as a supporter of the Demon Slayer Corps. Senjuro repaired the ripped and ruined notes left by the previous Flame Pillars. It was thanks to those notes that Tanjiro found out about the Sun Breeding's 13 forms. If Kyojuro told Senjuro to pick up from where he left, Senjuro would have continued training with his Nichiren blade that didn't change colors. That would have destroyed any potential Senjuro would have had. Kyojuro believed in Senjuro's potential on a different path. "I will fulfill my mission." Kyojuro fulfilled his mission as an older brother. The Kochos Sisters. The Kochos Sisters were famous in the Demon Slayer Corps for their beauty, with their butterfly hairpieces and butterfly haori. Kanae, the older sister, became the Flower Pillar. Shinobu, the younger sister, became the Insect Pillar. Both sisters made a place for themselves in the Corps as pillars. Kanae and Shinobu were born to parents who made a living making medicine, but their happy lives were crushed when their parents were killed by a demon. However, instead of losing all hope, the sisters wanted to protect other people's unharmed happiness and joined the Demon Slayer Corps. Kanae became a pillar first, but after she found out the demons were originally humans, she made an unusual ideal to become friends with demons. Unfortunately, Kanae was killed by upper rank 2, Doma. Shinobu took on Kanae's ideals along with her Haori, and she became a pillar with an endless smile and a strong poison. Shinobu used to have a strong and slightly short-tempered personality, but because Kanae told her that she liked Shinobu's smile before passing away, Shinobu started keeping a smile on her face. Though she says demons and humans should be friends, with a smile, her hatred towards demons never went away. The contradiction between her hatred towards demons and her feeling that she needed to be more like her sister clashed deep in her heart. Tanjiro even asked her if she was mad. Zenitsu also mentioned how her sounds didn't have any regularity and was scary, so she must have been pushing her limits. Shinobu's name might have remembering her sister and enduring the anger as hidden meanings. Remembering and enduring can be read as Shinobu in some cases. During the Infinity Castle battle, Shinobu fought Doma and put her rage into every attack. During the battle, Shinobu realized that Kanae was trying to tell her with her last words, "Shinobu, you can't win against this demon." Kanae wanted Shinobu to quit the Demon Slayer Corps and have a normal life. Doma was much stronger than Shinobu, and she ended up with fatal wounds as Doma sliced deep into her lungs and stomach. Shinobu sees her sister's illusion, but instead of telling her to run, Kanae tells her to stand up. Kanae was kind, so she must have took into consideration how badly Shinobu wanted to defeat Doma and pushed her back so she wouldn't give up. Kanae wanted Shinobu to quit the Demon Slayer Corps and have a normal life. Shinobu wanted to avenge Kanae and defeat Doma at all cost. Unfortunately, it was impossible for both of them to have their way. Kanae saw that Shinobu was willing to do so and put Shinobu's wishes first over her own. This was because Shinobu knew she couldn't beat Doma with her strength, so she filled her body with wisteria poison over the span of a year. Shinobu was killed and consumed by Doma, but her 37 kilograms of poison weakened Doma, making it possible for Inosuke and Kanao together to cut off his head. Kanae didn't want to be avenged, but Shinobu wanted to avenge Kanae with her life. On top of her hatred towards Doma for killing her beloved sister, she might have also wanted to prove her sister's last words, "You lose." Wrong. Released from the nightmares by Doma's defeat, Shinobu and Kanae went back into their parents' arms, hand in hand. The Taquito Brothers. The Tokito Brothers are twins, with the distinct characteristic of having long hair with blue tips. You could only tell them apart from their clothes, but the older brother twin was Yuichiro and the younger twin was Muichiro. The two lived with their parents in the mountains as woodcutters, but when they were 10, their parents passed away. Their mother from pneumonia and their father from falling off the cliff. Their parents were saintly people, but because of their sudden deaths, Yuichiro began thinking that no matter how kind people were, no god or Buddha was going to save them. Because the brothers needed to live on their own, Yuichiro began using harsher words towards Muichiro. He kept yelling at Muichiro, who wanted to live a life of virtue, saying, "What can you do?" At one point, the brothers couldn't agree on how they wanted to spend their lives. One day, while the two were still ignoring each other, a demon attacked them in their sleep. Muichiro attacked the demon with all his anger, and the demon evaporated with the sunrise. When he got home, Yuichiro was at his last breath. This is when he found out that Yuichiro just wanted to keep Muichiro safe. He realized that Muichiro could pull out infinite power to protect others. Yuichiro breathed his last breath, and Muichiro, who was also severely wounded, passed out. The person who saved Muichiro was the Demon Slayer Corps leader's Kagaya Ubuyashi's wife, Amane Ubuyashiki. Amane knew of their relationship with the first breathing style and had visited to invite them to join the Demon Slayer Corps. Muichiro had no memory of his family when he woke up, but his hatred for demons pushed him forwards, and 2 months later, with his skill and hard work, he became the Mist Pillar. Muichiro began to regain his memory at the Swordsmith village. When Tanjiro told him that it was to help someone, a distant memory crossed his mind. When he was struggling against upper rank 5 Gyoko, he completely remembered Yuichiro and their family. Along with his memory, he regained his emotions. While Muichiro was without his memories, he was subconsciously trying to talk like, act like, and be like Yuichiro. During the Infinity Castle battle, Muichiro went up against upper rank 1 Kokushibu. But because of their skill and experience difference, he had a rough fight. He fought Kokushibu with his life and assists Wind Pillar Sanemi and Stone Pillar Gyomei, but by the time they defeated Kokushibu, Muichiro had already passed away. Muichiro went to the afterlife and reunited with his twin, who was crying that Muichiro died a meaningless death. He swore to protect his brother, but because Muichiro was so willing to fight to his death, Yuichiro cried. Muichiro wouldn't have cared if it was anyone else, but that was the last thing he wanted to hear from Yuichiro. Of course, Yuichiro didn't really think Muichiro's death was meaningless. He wanted Muichiro to live so badly, he had to get upset. Muichiro answered to his twin that he was born to be happy, and that he had a countless number of times when he felt truly happy. Muichiro's life ended, but to Yuichiro, who wanted Muichiro to be happy, those words were the best he could ever hope for. The Shinazugawa Brothers. The Shinazugawa brothers looked extremely similar, with scars across their faces and sharp eyes. The older brother is Sanemi and the younger brother is Genya, and they were a part of a family with 7 siblings. When their father passed away, they swore together that the two of them would protect their mother and young siblings. One night, a wolf-like creature attacked the Shinazugawa household. Their siblings were killed instantly, but while Genya was frozen from the horror, Sanemi managed to take the creature outside. Genya chased after Sanemi, but he found him holding a knife with his mother on the ground, both a bloody mess. Seeing this, Genya screamed that Sanemi was a killer who murdered their mother. The creature that attacked the family was their mother turned into a demon, but Genya couldn't comprehend that, and he blamed his brother. After killing his own mother and getting rejected by his brother, his world went monotone, and he began hunting demons alone. Sanemi, who didn't know of the Demon Slayer core, killed demons in his own way with sunlight. But he was eventually introduced to a cultivator, and before long, he learned how to kill more efficiently and became a pillar. Sanemi's sword has a guard designed like a chrysanthemum, which is unique to Sanemi's sword. Whenever Sanemi talked about his family, this sword guard was emphasized, so it might be representing a Buddhist flower arrangement for his family. Eventually, Genya realized that Sanemi killed their mother to protect him, and that Sanemi vanished shortly after that incident. He wanted to apologize for blaming his brother, and that thought alone led him to the Demon Slayer core. He used the gun, but couldn't acquire total concentration breathing. However, he could still fight thanks to his special skill. By eating demons, he could obtain that demon's power set for a short time. No one else was capable of doing this. When Genya first reunited with Sanemi at the core, Sanemi pushed him away saying Genya wasn't his brother. It was to that point where during the pillar training, the brothers fought so badly that the other members had to intervene. Even so, Tanjiro knew how Sanemi truly felt and told Genya that he still loved his brother dearly. Genya too loved Sanemi so much that no matter how many times he got pushed away, he still stood up to Sanemi's harsh insults. The first time they managed to talk without fighting was during their battle with upper rank 1 Kokushibu. His demon-consuming skill managed to keep Genya alive, but Sanemi jumped in to save him, furious at the demon for hurting his brother. Sanemi finally admitted that he wanted Genya to have a happy family with a wife and children. At the end of the battle, they managed to defeat Kokushibu, but Genya, who was sliced in half, started dissolving like a demon. Sanemi begged God and Buddha not to take his brother away, but his wishes weren't answered. For his last words, Genya finally told his brother what he wanted to say for the longest time. "Sorry for blaming you. Thank you for protecting me." They were finally honest with each other, but their farewells were incredibly sad. Later, Sanemi was inches from death during his fight with Muzan Kibutsuji. He caught a glimpse of Genya and his siblings having fun in heaven, but he was shoved back to earth by his father, saying it was too soon for Sanemi. Seeing that Genya, who vanished like a demon, had gone to heaven, must have made Sanemi feel relieved. The pillars and their sibling bonds. That's all for the 4 pillars and their sibling relationships. Being in the Demon Slayer core meant living side by side with death. To the pillars, death was even closer. Of the 4 pairs of 8 siblings, 6 passed away before the Demon Slayer core disbanded. Even though they all had completely different upbringings, there were a few similarities. Between their brothers or sisters, they had a strong bond, with both caring for the other. In particular, the older siblings had the strong feeling that they needed to protect their younger counterparts. With all 4 pairs, the older siblings wanted their younger siblings to avoid danger and fighting demons. They all wanted their siblings to live a normal and happy life without demons. None of the younger siblings showed signs that they thought the same for the older siblings. In fact, they kept chasing after their older siblings, wanting to run after them and assist them. Because the story is set in the Taisho period, the older siblings felt more responsibility. What did you think? What did you think about the pillars and their sibling love? Comment down below. Thank you for watching. We also talked about other siblings in the series. We talked about the Kamados, the Kunitsugis, the Thunder siblings, and the upper rank 6 siblings. So check that video out next. We also have more amazing videos coming up, so subscribe to stay tuned. We'll see you next time.